I hope you can hear me because it is absolutely blowing a gale. I am at a place called South Gare, which is just up from Redcar on the North Yorkshire coast, and this is the most northern point of the North Yorkshire coast, or the most northern point that I can get to because it's all fenced off. So there you've got the iconic lighthouse. It's only a tiny little one that was built in about, I can't remember, 1880, something like that. This whole thing is man-made. This, I don't know what you call it, this structure coming out to sea, it stretches out for about 2 miles, does it? That's what I've read, but it don't seem like that. And it was built also in the 19th century using slag from the nearby industries, all the factories, the steelworks, and there's so much industry going on, chemical works, blast furnaces, which have all, because like most things, have suddenly been closed down. They're in decline, industry's in decline, but it's quite a beautiful place. I don't know, where you look off in that direction and you've got all the factories, or the sort of derelict factories. You've got a beautiful beach here, and then you've got the windmills, jury's out on windmills, but this is also a nature reserve. So there's some rare species of birds. There's lots of interesting stuff to have a look at. It's been in the news recently from a motorhome point of view, because I'm going to have to go down because it's too windy. It's been in the news. I'm going to have to record this again. It is so windy. It's been in the news from the motorhome point of view, because this was a very, very popular park up along here, and you can see why. But this is a private road, and apparently they've now banned motorhomes. I read somewhere that they'd put a barrier up, but there was no barrier. I've drove down as far as, well, I could have got a bit further actually, but I've drove down quite far. But I'm going to need to walk back because it is so cold. I'm not sure what industries these are. They'll be in this area, maybe. I mean, that looks like a chemical plant. Oh my goodness, I'm going to get blown over. I need to head down here. But yeah, it's like this sort of bit of land. It's like a boundary between what man builds and what the sea reclaims. I really like it. You know, on first thoughts, you might think it's a bit hideous with all the factories, but I like that. I think it's interesting. There's so much going on. I'm heading back to the van, and I'm going to have a bacon sandwich, but then that'll see me through for the day, because I know you're concerned about my diet. I know it's important to you. But yeah, I'll have a healthy bacon sandwich. I've just noticed this caravan here, and it's South Gare Sea Dippers. This is a meeting place for skinny dippers. I assume it is, sea dippers. It'll not be skinny dippers, it'll be, they'll keep the clothes on. Well, the cozzies. So they're the times to come. Unfortunately, I've missed it today. I'm a bit disappointed about that. And I think they just go over there and jump in sea. Look at that scenery, that cliff, heading down towards Saltburn-on-Sea, and the other side you've got Staithes. So coming up here are the fishermen's huts. I think they've been there since the 30s, and they're just a place for all the fishermen to store all the tattle, and they've got sofas and chairs and things in them. I'm sure they'll stay in them. I'd like to stay in one. It looks a bit like a prisoner of war camp. I'm going to go down and have a look. Hopefully it's more sheltered. I like that. I could live there. But then you know what I'm like. It's like some remote Scandinavian little village. And you could have a little bar and a shop, couldn't you? That'd be fab. And this behind is called Paddy's Hole. That sounds a bit ominous, doesn't it? Paddy's Hole. And that was where the Irish navvies that built this breakwater, that's where they all stayed. And I believe, I don't know if it's still open, but there's a cafe somewhere there. Is she the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? I love her. Second only to my daughter and Helen and my mother and my sister. I've got some good women in my life, and Elsie's the new addition. She'll serve me well, and she's going to take me on this trip, and then next year she's going to take me to foreign lands, probably Spain, but you know, you never know, I might go somewhere exotic. The world's my oyster, and that's the beauty of van life. Absolutely love it, best thing I've ever done. There's that shot again, the getting into the van shot. What I'm famous for, well, what every YouTuber does, they first come into the van, they set the camera up, then they go back out again and look like a complete idiot. But anyway, I'm staying here for a bit because I love it. Look at it. Look at the view. It's not a bad park up this, is it? Hey? And to this side, that's not quite as good. Them windows need cleaning. That's a problem with this time of year. Oh, I really hope that this footage is okay because that was so windy. I'm going to make a bacon sandwich and a cup of tea, and then I'm going to look at the footage and hope it's okay before we head on to Redcar. If it's not okay, if it's too noisy, I'll have to do some sort of voiceover, and I hate doing voiceovers. And to those of you who said you put the milk in first when you're making tea, you don't. You put it in after. It's tea bag first, then milk. Can we clear that up, please? You have to do the little tap. The little tap's very important. And while we're at it, this is a bread cake. It's not a cob, it's a bread cake. Don't ask me why, I don't make the rules. Oh, bacon butter. Now, in our last video, the elf incident, it sort of divided the subscribers. So you've got people that are pro-elf and people that are anti-elf. But those of you on my side, if you didn't see it, Helen abused my elf. Helen's my partner, if you don't watch his other videos. But subscribe and then you'll see her. She's the star. She beat Elfie, and he's all right now. It's more like a mental thing with him. He was a bit shocked by it that she could behave like that, as I was. And it's certainly coloured our relationship a different way. I mean, I'll never forget it. I'll forgive her, but I don't think I'll ever get over it. But yeah, he's doing all right. I'm just giving him lots of cuddles and lots of love. But we've also got a new addition, Santa. She better not punch him, because I need to trim up the van. That's about it. I've got a little tree somewhere and I've got some fairy lights, but I've got nowhere to stick them on. But obviously that's Santa. So anyway, that's Santa and elf news. That's the priority sorted. I'm going to eat my bacon sandwich, I'm going to drink my cup of tea, and then I'm going to look at this footage and just pray to God that it's not too windy and that you can hear me talking. Then we're heading into Redcar. I've been waiting for this wind to die down, but I think I've been waiting a long time. I don't think it'll be as bad in Redcar. It's only a couple of miles away. We'll go and have a look round. Just hope it's not that bad. But before I do that, I just want to say a big thank you to Exeter for sponsoring this video. You know we use Exeter wallets. How you doing? We love them. I use it and Helen uses it. In fact, all my family have got these. I've said that before. They've sponsored a few videos and I really appreciate it because they're supporting me and helping me make these series and things like this. So just to let you know, they have got an offer on. They've got Christmas offers on at the moment with up to 50% off. So if you follow the link, it's in the description, I'll put it on the screen. Use my code by the curb and you'll get extra savings. It's really good. And I'll tell you something interesting as well. Lionel Messi's got one. What more evidence do you need that you'd be a badass perpetrator with one of these? And Andrew Schultz, he's a comedian. If you know your comedy, you'd like Andrew Schultz. And check out the card finder as well, so you can link it to with a little add-on. You can link it to your mobile phone, so if ever you lose your wallet, you look on your phone, it tells you exactly where it is. It's really cool. Thank you Exeter for sponsoring me again. I really appreciate it. Right, let's go to Redcar. I'm excited. It's my land. Let's not leave my wallet there. Come on, let's do this. You can see off over in the distance where I've come from, and I'm now in Redcar, and there I'm parked. There's another couple of motorhomes. It's the Majoba Road car park, I think, and you can stay in motorhomes, but I've heard that it's quite bad with boy racers, so I didn't stay last night. Look at them dick-dicks having a bath. So yeah, first time in Redcar for me. I'm just going to have a walk along, have a look. I'm not going to judge it as a tourist place because it's the middle of winter, so you can't do that. But we'll get a feel for the town and see what's going on. The name Redcar comes from the Old English reed, meaning red, and car, which is Norse for marsh, and it comes from the red marshland that was around these ways. That's what I've read. Don't blame me if it's wrong. It's famous for its penguins. I'll tell you what, it's cold enough. What is it this? Let's have a look. It's like a kiddie's play area. Looks good. It's called Frosty Penguins Put-in Adventure. You don't say that quick, can you? I'll tell you what, it's cold enough for polar bears as well. But it just shows you how quickly the climate in Redcar can change, because literally 20 yards further down we've got a shark. So that's in the play area, little kiddie play area. That looks quite cool. My daughter would enjoy that. Now I believe that there's a petrified forest out in the sea somewhere. I might be wrong on that. I remember reading it. And when I say petrified, I don't mean scared. I mean like an ancient forest which has been sort of preserved. And in certain conditions, you can see like tree stumps. I wonder if it's where the waves are breaking. I don't know. What's this building? Place your bets. What is it? Tuned in. What is it, that then? It's obviously not open now. So I've just looked that up, and it's a brand new, although it don't look brand new, state-of-the-art youth centre which costs 5 million. So it just needs a good wash. I think it's obviously because of the elements, the sand and everything. So that's where they'll do all the youth stuff in there. That's good. I think it's good to have things like that for youths, for the youths of today. Save them going out, getting up to no good, like we did. I can imagine it somewhere, sat on deck chairs round here, while kids drink boats, you can have an ice cream. Now, I wonder if them sandbags are to stop water coming in from that drain or to stop it draining out. The only downside about not having Helen here is I have to read these things. I'm not reading all that. So we've got quotes from people why they like Redcar. Jeff Brown, I like Redcar because my sweetheart lives here. Oh, that's nice. Tina, she likes to take the children along the beach and to the park. And Della enjoys bird watching at Coatham Marsh. So Coatham Pier, that is no longer, isn't it? I don't think. Didn't a ship crash into it after the pier? Coatham Pier, completed in 1875, was breached by 4 ships. It's a bit reckless, isn't it? On one night as well in 1847. Oh, it was a storm. After the pier was breached again by the bark Berger, it was never repaired. In 1934, the pavilion at the entrance was rebuilt as the New Pavilion Theatre. Many actors made their debut here, including Mike Neville, Larry Grayson, something interesting about that, and George Formby. In 1965, the theatre became the Regent Cinema. It became the Regent Cinema, so we'll look at that. Larry Grayson, you know his famous phrase, "Oh, shut that door." He coined that phrase at this New Pavilion Theatre. That's where he invented it. He came up with it because apparently there were a draft coming into his dressing room. So, "Oh, shut that door." That's the legend. Anyway, we're going to wander down here because I've seen some interesting stuff. There's more penguins. They like the penguins, don't they, here? Look at that. It's that cold in Redcar. That penguin's got a gilet on. And there we've got the Regency Mansions. So I assume that'll be the old pavilion, which is now the Regent, and maybe that's where the pier went out. Answers in the comments. I do like these murals. They're nice. That's a nursing home as well, Mulroy Seaview Nursing Home. That must be like really cheap. Or if you don't like your parents, you put them in there. I mean, it's got a good view, I guess. But here's a question for you. You know, we always talk about the sea view. Is a sea view a good view? Is it better than a lovely valley or some countryside, some mountains? I think I'd rather have mountains because it's just sea. And then they ruin it, don't they, with bloody windmills? Imagine if you've put your parents in that nursing home saying, look, it's got really good view, and then they stick them there. I'd want a discount, me. And that's not very good, is it? They look really quite run down, don't they? So this is the Regent, and that will have been the pavilion. So the pier will have gone out from there. I might be wrong. Oh yeah, site of Coatam's Victoria Pier. Is that the same one? Must be. So yeah, see, I know my stuff. I'm looking at that and I thought that said War of the Rotherham. Sonic the Hedgehog, can't wait to see that. And then you've got Nosferatu. Right, that's shut so I can't go in. But I want to go and have a look at this now, the beacon. So yeah, this is controversial. This was part of a £75 million regeneration of Redcar's front, and they built this pier, but vertical pier, and it's really divided a lot of opinions. And there was all little independent boutiques and shops gone in there, and I think a lot of them have come out now. So I don't even know if it's going to be open. They closed the top. There was like a viewing balcony thing on the top, and then they closed it because there was some rowdy youths chucking things off. But they needed to do a review. So you get some idiots throw something off top, and then they shut it to do this review, and it took them nearly a year to do it. And then they've opened it back up, but with security, which I don't know if that's a security guard or that camera. But they ought to have put a slide in that. They missed a trick, didn't they? You know, for like kids or drunk people, that'd be really popular. And then going down there, look, some more stuff. We'll go back there. I doubt this is going to be open. Right, let's go up. I'm taking stairs for health benefit. So it's 7 floors. Let's see if there's any shops or anything open. Very much doubt it. They look nice. I wonder if they're part at cafe. We'll go and look at those in a bit, but we'll go at top. I'm going fast because I heard door downstairs. They might be coming after me. They might chase me. Be a good view from top, I think. You've got the local radio station there, look. Zetland FM. I think we're near the top now. Yay! So you've got security there. Oh. Wow, I'm out of breath. But it's a good view. Is that a race course? So yeah, you see the old wall there? That'll have been part of the old pier. And what we've got this way. We've got some arcades and things, a nice walk along the front. The beach is nice, isn't it? I bet it's great in summer here. Right, I'm going back down and I'm going to see if that's a cafe and if it's open and if I can go in. And see if I can get a job on this radio station here. Because of course I used to be a DJ. Hey up. We're doing a little film on Redcar, am I alright to record? I didn't know whether you were open, it's lovely this, isn't it?
Yeah. It's decorated nice as well.
Yeah, it's lovely. Nice and warm as well. So I've just come and sat down here and I've ordered a coffee, just a flat white, for those who want to know. I like it in here. It's a bar, a coffee shop. Looks like they do pizzas and things. It was £2 something for my coffee, so that's cheap. And it's lovely and warm as well. Talking of coffee. So do you do food as well in here?
Food, yeah.
Yeah, nice one.
Store-made pizzas and toasted ENQUIRIES, stuff like that.
Lovely.
It's not too bad. I'll bring a menu board.
I don't want to order. I was just inquiring. Yeah.
But then you can have like a nosy eye, I suppose.
All right. Yeah, I'll have a look. Good idea. That's a very nice coffee. Thank you very much. So yeah, we've got a pizza menu, which again is very reasonably priced. They do paninis and nachos. Cheerio. Have you got much further to walk?
Oh no, we just walk all the way back up to the square.
Yeah. Well, you're wrapped up nice and warm anyway, so.
Yeah, we like to come out to keep walking.
Yeah, lovely.
Keep the exercise.
Yeah. Have a nice day. Thanks, bye. I was just chatting to a lovely couple, getting the lowdown on Redcar. Posh people call it Redcar, locals call it Redcar, and that's what they told me, so I was right. I had to take my coat off because it's red hot in here. So what I'm going to do, I want to turn the camera off and maybe do a little bit more research on Redcar and have a wander around, and yeah, we'll see what we can find out. Well, that was nice, a refreshing coffee. It cost me £2.80 and it was lovely and warm in there. I meant to do some research on Redcar, but I didn't. I got carried away answering comments on Facebook. Anyway, there's a load of school kids here, so I'm not going to film that. But I'm going to walk down this way and see what's going on. I mean, to be fair, you've already had one interesting fact, and that's the Larry Grayson fact, which, on a scale of interesting facts, is probably one of the best ones I've ever done. So I think I could carry this whole vlog on that, to be honest. But I'll see if I can find any more. We've got the amusements, which, I mean, I go to lots of places, as you know, lots of seaside places. They look clean. They all look nice and clean, don't they? I mean, some of them, particularly the ones in Rill, they were terribly run down. I bet that's a nice chip shop. Are they nice? Answers in the comments. What's that? Pachito, is it? Is that like an ice cream place? It sounds ice creamy, that. A little art place as well. Oh, it's nice in there, look. And this is the hub, which looks like that's getting renovated. There's always one of these at the seaside. And they're usually like places for kids. A bit temping bowling and all that stuff. I'm going in. I don't know if it's, I think it's shut. What's in here? All right. Yeah. So it's a bit of everything, is it? And because from the outside, I thought it might be like one of these temping bowling places or something like that, but no. So. I went inside and asked what it was. I thought it was like a temping bowling place, but it's not. It's like a community hub, and where local businesses and groups can hire rooms. It was quite nice in there, nice and clean and warm, I guess. And you can go and do your haberdashery if that's your thing. Look at the name of that boat. It's Bagpuss. Who remembers Bagpuss? There we have Zetland Lifeboat Museum, and Redcar is home to the world's oldest surviving lifeboat, and it's called the Zetland. It was built in 1802, and it's got a very storied history. It's rescued lots of people over the years. It's free entry, but unfortunately it's closed. Oh gosh, that's a shame, isn't it? I really would have liked to have seen that. That's the problem with coming out of season, when you want to go and see things, interesting things like that, you know, they tend to be closed. Let's have a look through the window. I wonder if this lad will let me in. Can I come in? Hello there, can I come? He's a big bloke, isn't he? He's massive. So that is the Zetland. Let me try and get a better view from this window. Oh, it's mucky. I'll clean window for him. It's saved 500 lives, exactly 500. The oldest surviving lifeboat in the world. I'll put some pictures on if I can find them. So that's another reason to come to Redcar. You can have a look at that lifeboat. I like how they always round things up, don't they? Yeah, it saved exactly 500 lives. It's like might have been one more person, and they were like, no, we can't rescue you, because in 2024 we want to say we've saved exactly 500 lives. Or maybe they were at 499 and they were about to retire, and there's just one person paddling in, like, let's rescue you. And they're like, I don't need rescuing. You do, we need to get to 500. That sort of stuff they do, I'm telling you. Anyway, less of my waffle. Some nice boats there. I love the old tractors. You see lots of these, and you see them at Saltburn by the sea, which is where I'll be heading tomorrow. The problem with vlogging this time of year is there's hardly any daylight. I've just noticed here we've got a Wetherspoons coming up. We're not going in though. I ain't got time today. I ain't got enough daylight. We'll head this way. There's a pretty clock tower. We'll go and have a look at that. So behind me, you've got two Turkish barbers right next door to each other. Eh? Like you need two. There should be like a national audit on the amount of Turkish barbers in the UK. A few empty shops. It's a bit sad, this bit. Oh, I don't believe it, another one. Another Turkish barbers. That's three. In about 100 yards, it's three Turkish barbers. They're not doing out. All really fancy fittings and fixtures and everything. I mean, oh, I've seen something very profound. Oh, we've got vape shops. We've got the vape shops, the obligatory vape shops. But look at boys there. Look what we've got. You can't go wrong with your boys. This must be the centre. I'm filming. Are you alright? How you doing? Am I alright to record?
Not me.
No. Don't be shy. Are you from here then?
Yes. Saw you were at the Gare.
I was, yeah.
The photograph shows the fisherman's huts
Aye,
through the
yeah.
window.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
Oh, you
We
too.
enjoy it. We enjoy your stuff.
Thank you. What do you think? What do you think of Redcar then? What's it like?
Well, I've been here for 20 odd years.
Yeah.
I've been here 40 years.
Have you?
And all right, it's a seaside town that suffered with the depressions and all the rest of it. It's no worse than anywhere else.
It's not, no.
In spite of the fact that the locals give it a bad name.
Right. It's first time I've actually, I mean, I've drove through, but it's the first time I've ever stopped, and I quite like it walking around. I can imagine it's summer, it's lovely.
It is.
Yeah, busy is it? Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I've even been up the beacon. Eh? That's dedication for you, isn't it? 7 flights.
That got a lot of local animosity.
It did,
against
yeah.
That, you know,
Yeah.
because,
I think some people liked it, a lot of people hated it, didn't they?
yeah.
They spent a lot of money on it, but oh
Because
well.
we thought we were getting a pier.
But it's a vertical pier, they said, didn't they? It's not a proper pier, is it? And there's not much going on inside. But the cafe's nice, so I enjoyed that. What's your names?
Ian
Ian
and Ashley.
and Ashley. Well, it's lovely to meet you.
Yeah.
And you?
I'll,
Sure.
I'll get on and get vlogging.
We'll have a look at it in a couple of days now.
Yeah, probably be on tomorrow this.
Right. Okay.
Nice to meet you both.
And you.
Bye, bye-bye. There's another one, another Turkish barbers. That's 4. We could be going for a record. So that could be a feature on the channel when we go to a town and we count the Turkish barbers. What's it like where you live? How many is there? There's a lot here. You know, it's a pretty quiet place. I guess if you want a Turkish style haircut, you've lost for places. You're not lost for places to go to. But yeah, so far we've got 4. So I think that lovely couple I met summed it up pretty well, you know, and as I rant a lot about comments that I get on some of my videos, is people, you lot, on the whole, try to be positive. I know we all try to be positive because we're positive people. And we always say nice things. And we know that these places have faced hard times, but it's just the people that just come in, oh, it's an absolute shithole. That's all they offer. But we don't do that. We try and see where we can improve things, because a town is about the people. And if you're a Mardy bum, then you're never going to get anywhere, are you? Oh, it smells nice, this. I don't know if it's coming from there, but something smells really good. And here's the clock tower. It's 1:30 already, can you believe it? Edward VII, it'll be to commemorate him. So it was restored in 2006, but when was it built? Is there a blue plaque? There you go. It's a rusty plaque. 1901 to 1910, Edward VII, something in Latin. Erected from subscriptions raised by inhabitants of Redcar, Coatham and district. And that's a red face on that side. So you can imagine, back in them days, people were very patriotic and very sort of royalist, weren't they? And anything like that, they'll have all chipped in. Right, you ready? There you go, guys. There you go. That's number 5. Number 5. Unbelievable. And there she is in all her glory, the controversial beacon. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Please put them in the comments. Are you for it? Are you against it? Let us know. Flying visit, as most of these little vlogs will be, because I'm doing everywhere. And I need to head on to the next place, which is Marske, is it? Marske by the sea, a little village. It's just a mile or so down the road. We're going to head there, and then that'll probably be it for this vlog, and then we'll continue in the future vlogs, doing all the way down to Spurn Point. So I'm very excited about this. Just hope the weather's okay, and you know, that I get some good footage. I so wanted to get my drone up, but hopefully when the wind's died down in the next couple of days I can do that. Especially in places like Staithes and Robin Hood's Bay. That's prime drone footage, that. Whitby. I mean, I'll just get drone up all the time if I can. Anyway, I've walked a couple of miles today, had a wander around, and I like it. I like Redcar. It will be busy in summer. And these places look completely different in summer. There'll be so much going on. The slot machines were nice and clean. You've got ice cream bars, fish and chips, a few pubs, everything you need. The beach is lovely. You've got the cinema, play centres, boating lakes. Yeah, have you ever been on holiday here? Let me know. Anyway, before I get back to the van, there's just one more thing I want to show you, but that's if I can find it, and it's really interesting. Right, so I've drove about a mile onto this modern housing estate because I wanted to show you this. This is an acoustic mirror, and it was built for the First World War by Royal Engineers, and the shape of it would reflect sounds of coming Zeppelins and aircraft. And what they would do is they would sit on some sort of like trumpet type listening device, and the sounds would reflect off that. It's quite big actually. You see how big it is? So it's quite interesting. Obviously back in the day these houses wouldn't have been there, and it'll have been pointed in the right direction. So I just wanted to show you that. I just find it quite interesting. Right, I need to quickly head to the next location. This is Marske. I can't say it. There's certain words I just can't say. Marske by the sea. Or is it Marske? This is Marske by the sea. I've just drove through it. How do I get in this graveyard? Let's go and have a look down here first. And it's a lovely little village, but there weren't anywhere, it's only tiny, there weren't really anywhere I could pull up. So I've just come back towards the front because it is by the sea. And I thought, well, I'll have a look at by the sea and see what's here. How lovely is that? And this is part of the English coastal path. So it's basically the next village on from Redcar. You can see, you might be able to make out in the distance the windmills. So that's where I've come from. And over there, I don't know if it's this side of the cliff, I think it is, it's Saltburn by the sea. That's where we're heading next. And that's going to be in the next video. So yeah, there's not really anything I can vlog from Marske by the sea because there's nothing here, but it does look lovely. When I say there's nothing here, it's not a seaside place, there's no promenade or anything. There's a few wine bars, coffee shops, there's a co-op. It does actually look a nice place to live, you know, nice and quiet, but then just down roads from all these lovely places. I'm just going to go and have a look at this church because that looks like the remains of a church, really. That looks like, it looks like it might have blown over. Just round the corner, there's a street called Wind Lane, which I thought was quite ironic, being that it's like super windy, but it was spelled W-Y-N-D, not the same kind of wind. So, this is one of the oldest churches in Cleveland, St. Germain's, and it dates back to Anglo-Saxon times, and this is what's left of it. You've got the belfry there, but you can see some of the brickwork from the old original church. Look at that chap there tidying that grave up, bless him. It used to be called the Smugglers' Church because when ships would come in smuggling contraband, this is where the smugglers would hide and wait for the ships to come. There is one interesting story about a smuggler who was waiting here for a shipment of gin, and it was a cold night. It was freezing, so he got up in the belfry where there was a bottle of brandy that had been stored by previous smugglers, and he thought, I'm going to drink this brandy to keep warm. Anyway, ship didn't even appear, and he was woken up the next morning absolutely paralytic, where he was carried away to who knows where, whether it jail or I don't know, but apparently as they dragged him away he was still clutching onto the brandy. So that's an interesting story. There's also rumours that there was tunnels under here that went to some of the houses, but they've never been found, and it's where they would smuggle, so the booze would come in on a ship to the church and then under the tunnels into houses. That's interesting. There's some headstones that are actually from a long time ago, and they're grade 2 listed headstones, but I don't know how I'd find them. But what a lovely little graveyard. I don't know where the headstones are. I'm stood here on what would have been the original church, and sadly that's all that's left. I've just looked online to try and find the location of these headstones, and they are located around 10 metres southwest of the tower, which is that 10 metres. I think that's probably it. Well, that's because south's down there. Southwest. Is it these? You can't see any dates on them, but I've seen a photograph, and I think that's them. Possibly that one because it's an unusual style, but of course there's no date on that. Oh, hang on. I think that's one. I think that could be one. What do we know about that? We can't read anything about it. But that looks like Celtic, doesn't it? And I've seen some Celtic graves in Eam, and they were very similar to that. So it's maybe those, and that one. There's 3 apparently, so I reckon it's that one and that one, and there was one further back that way. Anyway, there you go. That's interesting. I like that graveyard. I like what's left of that church. Stood here, battling the elements. I need to start heading towards my next destination, which is going to be in the vlog after this, on my Yorkshire trip, and it's going to be Saltburn by the Sea. I absolutely love Saltburn by the Sea. It's a beautiful place, so make sure you watch that. And I don't know how far down the coast I'll get on that video, but I'm going to work all the way down to Spurn Point, so it's going to be a few videos. Some of them are going to be long, some of them are going to be short. I'm going to my favourite park up. I'll head to Saltburn by the Sea tonight, so because my favourite park up is there, absolute classic. Anyway, thanks for watching this. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any sort of ideas of anything you'd like me to do or places you'd like me to go to, just drop them in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and like the video, and if you don't like it, unlike it. Alright, thank you, and I'll see you there.